evening, everyone. Okay, fantastic. It's 6 o'clock Nigerian time. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And let me say this first. Happy New Year to every one of you. It's been a fantastic new year. I don't know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, you can just give me a signal in the comment box. Okay. Without wasting much of our time, guys, it's time to bring on our guests for today. All right, so our guest is someone I'm just going to introduce very, very differently from I used to. Is the most humble person I've seen. All right, we attended the same church about 2 years ago, and I always look at him. Interestingly, I always sit behind. I have this usual seat, my very, very usual seat, and I always sit behind him, kind of. And I always look at this. I know him very well. I study him. I follow him. I visit his LinkedIn page like every other week. I know every of his moves, but I just decide not to really get close to him, and I keep learning from him from afar, watching him from afar, and I just respect his humility. I respect his way of life, and that has been really fantastic for me. And eventually, I thought, no. He has to really come on the show. We have to really hear him. He has to be on the show. He has to be on MCTV. So, Yemi Faseun, he wants to be called a senior HR executive. But guys, go into his LinkedIn page, go into his Instagram page. You know who he really is. Maybe he's going to tell us a bit about himself later. He's also the owner or the founder of Yemi Faseun Network. That's the YFN. Yeah, I think I got that right. He's the HR director of Globacom. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me as a welcome on MCTB Module 11. Our guest for today is my brother, my senior Egbon, is Yemi Faseun. You're welcome,
sir. Thank you very much, Tope. Thanks a lot. I almost didn't want to come on. I didn't want to put on my video. If you had gone on and on past the time limit that I gave you, I wouldn't have come on at all. But
I'm sorry,
nice.
Sir.
It's okay. It's okay. Nice to be here. Good evening, everyone. I see a couple of names of guys that I know. I see Promise Hassan. Promise has been to my office. He wrote a book and he offered me a copy. Promise, thank you very much again. Good job. Well done. I see a couple of other names as well. So this is Happy New Year from me to everyone. And I am delighted, I'm honored, and I am totally also humbled that I am the first person speaking to you on this platform this year. It will go down in history. Maybe I should take a picture now. Don't mind me.
Eman, please take a picture of this. We need to make noise about it. I have people at the background that will do that.
Thank you so much, guys. What we're talking about, even if I don't speak directly to the topic that Tope and I carved out, right? The conversation that I'm going to be having this evening is still going to center around how we are positioning ourselves for the next levels in our career. To say that the world has changed is probably saying the obvious, the too obvious stuff. This time last year, if you had said to some businesses that, oh, you guys in telco or banking or some other sectors, you wouldn't be going to work 9 months out of 12 months of 2020, they'll be looking at you as if, are you okay? What are you talking about? As in, I'll be working, I'll be collecting a salary, but I will not be getting on Third Mainland Bridge every morning. Everybody will just be looking at you and be saying, hey, Oga, what's wrong with you? But that's the reality of today's world. That is where we are today. Nobody had an idea of the dimension the future of work was going to encroach into our world. Some of us knew 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we sort of, not that we guessed, we were getting ready for the future of work because we saw some developments around us and we saw some developments in other parts of the world leading to the fact that the future of work was on its way. But the dimension with which he was going to approach our world was not known in the details of the COVID-19 that happened. But what then happened was that the whole world literally became leveled at the same time. You know what they say, that London is a leveler. Yeah. What I have said to myself in 2020 is that COVID-19 is a leveler. So at some point, the entire universe was shut down. The entire world was actually on lockdown because of COVID-19. Now, what then happened was that the individuals and organizations who were getting ready on a gradual basis, listening and watching the environmental stimuli, they got ready for that feature that suddenly happened. And they took advantage of it immediately. Like I said, organizations and individuals. So when I have conversations, I tend to not be a union leader by saying that, oh, employees alone. But also we need to balance things from the employer perspective, because that balance is important for us to achieve, one, for ourselves, and two, for our organizations. We need to come to the point where we know that we are in a symbiotic relationship, employees and employers. So not only were employers impacted, those who were not ready, they were impacted badly. And those who were ready just simply took advantage of the situation. On the other hand, on the other side of the continuum, the employees, the workers, or you call them members of staff, you call them talent, whatever you want to call them, some individuals were ready. Some individuals were ready for that feature of work. You know, it was like the cheese that was moving, but it was moving gradually. It was like the iceberg that was melting, but it didn't melt in a day. It was on a gradual basis. So some individuals who were therefore already watching the iceberg and looking at the cheese and seeing that the cheese was getting smaller in size. Some days you go there, you don't see the cheese. Some days you go there, you see the cheese. Such individuals were already wondering, okay, what's going to happen? Again, what they were doing, they were already getting ready to make some new cheese. And the best way to do that was to get ready for a new world that was coming upon us on a gradual basis. Such employees, such individuals also, like the employers, took advantage immediately of the situation that happened to the whole world. Now, this is where the real conversation starts now. Okay. In terms of our career in a new year, 2021. 2022 will go down as a year that became a decade. I'm not sure if anybody saw the picture of a guy that was carrying his certificates in a big bag at the airport. I think it was an Arab guy. You saw that, Tope, right?
Yeah, I mean, saw that picture, yeah.
by middle of the year or by August, we had learned a lot. Because learning became cheaper. Learning became in the flow of life. You don't leave work and go learn, or leave learning and go work. We were doing everything together. My kids were schooling at home. My wife was gymming at home. I was working at home at some point before I went back to the office and all that. Everything was just in the flow of life, and so was learning. And it was great that so many people took advantage of that learning opportunity to retool and to reskill themselves for a new world order from an employee-employer perspective. Let's not also kid ourselves. Our colleagues and friends lost their jobs. Some employers came to me and said, Yemi, I can't continue to pay the full salary for my employees. What do I do? They were looking at alternative sort of scenario for them to still carry on the business, but mindful that they couldn't carry on the overhead. Some lost about 20% of their income.
Can I ask you a question, Tessa?
Yes, please, sure.
So when picking on these employers, what has changed for them? Is it the revenue which has shrunk? Yes. Why? How come they can't suddenly cope with the overheads anymore? Because they are working from home. So is it a case of working from home has caused them to shrink? Their revenue has shrunk, or what exactly has changed for them?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. One of the guys who spoke with me, and I did put this up on my LinkedIn, one of my LinkedIn posts, sometime in September, October. The guy is in the food business, the restaurant business. You remember that I said everything was done from home. School from home, work from home, gym from home, social from home, and we were eating at home. Nobody was allowed to go anywhere anymore. We were eating at home. At best, what you could do was to order food to the house.
Yeah.
So it affected that business. At some point, Tope, I'm sure you were aware that a hotel was sending food out
Yes.
to customers. Nobody believed it, but it was all over the place because the business needed still to survive. So that's kind of a business that I was talking about. People were not going out to eat anymore. Very few people were ordering food, but this guy needed to still pay salaries of employees. And he was genuinely concerned. He therefore called me. We talked for about 16 minutes. He was almost at his wit's end. I said, what's going to happen? When is the end of this pandemic? I said, I don't know. Okay, so within the situation we found ourselves, what do I do? I said, well, these are the options, right? Because the business must survive. At the same time, we need to be empathetic towards employees. So at some point, we needed to find a balance. So that was an example. So some businesses needed still the physical touch, the one-on-one interaction, right? But don't get it wrong, Tope. There were some businesses that were already positioned for that situation. Even before the lockdown, even before the pandemic, they were switching already their operations.
So irrespective of the pandemic,
they were already, yes, they were getting ready for a future of work that, I mean, traffic in Lagos is another thing. Forget the pandemic. Traffic in Lagos, I mean, I want to dine out or eat from my favorite location, but I just can't get there because of distance, because of traffic and all that. How do I still get that? You know, so some organizations were ready for that future. Nobody was ready for COVID-19. Let's not kid ourselves. Nobody was. We've all learned through a COVID-19 experience, right? And we are getting by gradually. But so my point is this: organizations have learned a lot in 2020 because we moved through those phases of fear of the unknown, serious apprehension, and then we were on lockdown. And we were looking at the figures and the cases on a daily basis news. Before I slept every day, I would listen to NTA, it was Channels News, and we're seeing the cases going up and all that. There was palpable fear around the world because the cases were going up and all that, you know? So we moved into that fearful situation. Then we went into lockdown. But as we went into lockdown, we started understanding more and more about the virus, about our world, about our businesses, and about ourselves. And we started adjusting. We came out of it. We started surviving alongside the virus that didn't go away. And we were told that the virus was not going to go away in a long time. We therefore needed to move into survival mode. And I think, if you ask me, that around the last quarter of last year, businesses started moving into thriving phase again, saying to ourselves that this virus isn't going to go away. What do I need to do to still thrive? I promise you that I have spoken with 2-3 businesses. One of them is in the investment banking space. They made more money this year than they made last year. Yes, the year closed 2 days ago. They made more money than they made last year. And I can give you some statistics.
Wow.
About 100% of the workforce worked from home for about 6-7 months. Eventually, all salespeople were working from home. Mm-hmm. And the remaining non-salespeople, only 20% of them were coming into the office on a rotational basis.
Okay.
Meanwhile, they made more than budget. They surpassed last year's performance. What should that tell you? That our world has changed totally. That's the reality. Now we are in 2021, guys, and my position is this: I'm not a prophet, please, and I don't have bags of tricks that I'm going to say this is exactly what you should do and all that. We're just having conversations. And please, by all means, stop a button anytime if you have any question or clarification. Sure. So, but my position is this. Yeah, sure. Go on.
Say, guys, if you have questions or you see some point lines you really want Yemi to emphasize on, please don't wait till the end of the show. Please, let's make this interactive. Just drop it in the chat box and let's talk about it. It could be personal experience. If you really don't want your name mentioned, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It could also be things you're already struggling with in your place of work currently, and you need clarity. You need someone to just really guide you. This is something you would have paid for, really. But yeah, we're bringing it to your doorsteps free of charge. So please take advantage of this opportunity and make use of it and ask your questions right away. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks very much for that. So this is 2021, right, guys?
Yeah.
And I was saying something about training. We have all retooled and reskilled and webinars. At some point, personally, I was suffering from webinar, what's that word? Webinar fatigue. Webinar fatigue. Because it will be 2 during the weekend, it will be 4 during the week and all that. But we've trained, we have retooled, we have reskilled. It's a new season. That is my message. The core, the crux, the focal point of my message today is that it's a new season.
So
last year,
my question is this on that.
Okay.
It's a new season. Every farmer always prepares for different seasons.
Correct.
So as an employee, what should I prepare for? Now, I'm going to go into the heart of the HRs because we really don't know what you are thinking. a lot of time I've met someone who they laid off some people in his place of work, and he said now he's even getting scared to open his computer because he really does not know what he's going to see the following day. He doesn't know if there's going to be another batch of people that will go again in January.
Laid off.
Yeah. So what exactly? Because we really cannot tell. Companies are not going to tell you next month we're going to do this again. We're going to, sometimes they're also very, very spontaneous and reactive about it. They really have to balance their books and be productive. How do I put it? They really want to make more money.
Profitable.
Yeah, and they have to look at what else can we really crunch down. And I'm going to ask you 2 questions in one. Number 1, what should we prepare for? How should we prepare for that season? Then secondly, why is the organizations always looking at overhead as the first place to crunch?
Okay, so let me try and answer the question. The first one, if we are thinking now as we are speaking, what should I be doing? I'm sorry, it's a bit too late in the day. If January 2nd is when you want to start planning for 2021, I am sorry to tell you the hard fact. It's a bit too late in the day. But the good news is that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So if you haven't done it, sorry, a bit late in the day, but please do not waste time anymore. If there's a time for you to plan, it is now. It's too late. So what should you be planning for? Those things that you've learned from last year, a whole lot of the certifications, the webinars, and all that, this is the time to put them into action.
Okay.
It's action time. So last year, just to take us about 12 months backwards, January 1 of this year, and anybody can still go check my Instagram page. My word for the year 2020 was reset. R-E-S-E-T, reset.
Yeah.
Because the word was just coming to me, like I said, as I was talking at webinars and, no, not webinars, it was physical conferences and conversations around leadership and the place of work. I kept realizing that we needed to reset as an individual, right? I was even thinking as an individual, but by the time we were half through the year, I realized that not only did individuals need to reset, organizations needed to reset, the world itself needed to reset. But this year, the word I came into this year with is transit.
Transit. Yeah, I saw that.
Transit, yeah. And I'm saying that we need to leave the position where we are or where we were in 2020 to a new level in terms of what we need to do. It's action time. We've done a lot of rehearsals. We've done a lot of planning. We've done a lot of retooling, a lot of reskilling. But this year, it's time to put all of that into practice. I'm really hoping that learning and development will continue, but I'm hoping that we will not see the same avalanche of webinars and events online and all that this year. It is time for us to put so many things into perspective from an action point of view. This is the time. If you were thinking, I needed to differentiate myself, they've told you you need to do a lot better than your colleagues. They've told you that you need to employ emotional intelligence. Last year, They've told you about teamwork. They've told you about analytics, data analytics to do your job better and all that. Don't wait anymore for any other thing. Just do it. This is the moment that Nike, if Nike was thinking about any year for you to just do it, it is 2021 action time. It's not impossible that you need to go revisit those things, those learnings of 2020, but this is the time to put it in perspective. You mentioned church when we're talking, right? So let me use an example of church that I tend to say to a few people. I said that on Sunday we are great Christians, right? We are in church and then we do everything. But Monday, the reality hits us, and then we've forgotten that mood of that relationship with God because the realities are now staring us in the face.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we just but then we start mourning and growing and all that. No, there's no time for that. This is the time to be the best employee in your organization. Last year, I did say that you cannot be a want in the time of peace to your organization, and suddenly during a crisis, you'll be a need to your organization. It's not going to happen. If you missed that boat last year, this is the 2nd of January. 3rd, we still have one more day to rest. Tomorrow, go with a mindset that you've got to make changes in your organization.
Wow.
Go into your organization with a value mindset.
Say that again,
like
sir.
I said, go into your organization that you must be needed in your organization, not wanted. The organization can want anyone, but we will need you if we don't start that meeting until we see you.
Wow.
If your report is not ready and the MD says, no, somebody should call him, he needs to be on this call, then you are becoming a need to that organization. If you are saying if the MD is saying, oh, the guy is not on this call, HOD, have you called him? Yeah, I've called him, don't worry, let's continue the meeting. Be careful. What value are you bringing to the organization? Come into this year, come into your career, or if you're a businessman, come with a value mindset. If you are not adding value, you are not adding anything. And let me tell you what the marketplace pays for. Nothing else but value. You see all those certifications of last year? Please bring them into this year. But don't tell me to pay for the certifications. Let me pay for the things you are going to add to my business from a value perspective. Once I see the quality of the conversations that you have with me on a daily basis, I can then ask you, did you do any course in this area? Then you can gladly say to me, yes, I did certification with Tope Bandele's School of XYZ. Then the boss can say, oh, now I understand.
So you're spot on. I'm going to throw a scenario here. I was talking to someone today. All right, so he lost his job. He lost his job with one of the investment companies in Nigeria. And he was so bitter about it. And he kept ranting on and on about how HR was so unfair. And he told me that while working for 5 years, he has got at, sorry, someone is trying to share screen. Please don't do that. Tade or Charlotte, please don't do that. Edman, can you please take this back? Yeah, so, and let's just go on. And he said, he's just so shocked and disappointed that he was the one that has to go, because he has 2 masters in the space of 5 years. And the person and he was surprised that the company had him to go and replaced him that same month. So it wasn't really a case of, oh, overhead shrinking or you're too much. It was had to go, and he was replaced with someone who only has a BSc that same month. And he just didn't really understand it. And I had to tell him, come on, guy, it's about the value you're putting on the table.
Absolutely.
For a better need, to have someone who can create more value in the organization than just your certificates. And that's why I said what you just said now really, really is so spot on. A lot of people need to really de-emphasize the attention they place on their certificates, rather really now focus on what are they bringing to the table. If an organization will have to make a choice of who has to go and who has to stay, why not you? And I think that is what we need to go into 2021. Sorry to continue to keep.
No, absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. Thank you for that. So a few people who might have heard me speak before now will remember that I have said over and over, and again, I have made a post on this before on LinkedIn to say that certification only lends credence to your competence. It doesn't replace it. Your certification will lend credence to your competence. It will not replace your competence. It will not. That's
My
the truth.
notes are getting full.
Honestly, that's the so the example you gave is so spot on. It is not about the 2 master's degree certifications from I mean, if I use HR as an example, CIPM, SPHRI, GPHRI, put all of that on the table, or put all of that in your file. What value do you bring to the table? Until we can see a link between the application of knowledge from what you have learned to solve real life problems and have quality conversations on a daily basis around your job, we will not give preference to your certifications. We will not. We will only remember once we realize that you are on the go, adding value to the business. Your boss is not around, you are stepping in every time. The way you are managing conflict as a team lead, we can say it. Leadership has become, empathy has become number 1 leadership competency. As a leader, leading 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, how are you leading people? Then you can say that, you went for a leadership certification course with John Maxwell. We've got to see it in action. It's almost like, before you go, the example I also always give is a driver. Okay. If my first daughter, who's been she's 16 now, she's been saying, Daddy, when am I going to start learning how to drive? And I'm saying, just don't worry, take your time. The point is, do you know that she can get a certificate or license for driving without necessarily knowing how to drive?
Absolutely.
So if you guys forget everything I have said, do not forget that analogy. Do not forget that allusion. I can present a driver's license today without necessarily knowing how to drive. And I have fallen into that mistake before. A guy told me he could drive. And because I saw him move the car and he said, he has his driver's license, I employed him. It didn't go past 1 week before I realized that he couldn't drive. In my life at Etisalat, I'm not kidding you. You know what I did? Because I told him to resign from his job to come and start driving my wife, we realized he couldn't drive. I couldn't sack him. I now had to pay for him to sit with another driver 6 months every day to learn how to drive. But at my cost. So guys, enough of that. Value is your roadmap to career success, nothing else.
Absolutely. And I think employers are also getting smarter these days. You see now that no matter what you put on your CVs or the certificates you bring in, they still want to hear you. They still want to really feel that which you're bringing to the table. And it has gone beyond, the choice or the decision of who to hire is based on the certificate he has on the CV or based on the courses he had gone for. And I think this is what a lot of people need to really understand now. I'm not saying, or we are not saying here that don't acquire more knowledge or don't get more certification. That is not what we are saying. But if the purpose of you going for that certification or for that master's is just because you really want to show it, then I think you're really making a mistake. You need to really, really get into the new world of really being able to use that certificate as just a leverage, as just a stepping stone into the already acquired knowledge that you have, which you need to really reapply into the organization which you work for, or even to yourself. I tell you today, I acquire more certificates of knowledge, not for the organization I work. It is for myself, not because I want to show it. You will not even see that on my CV or anywhere, but it's because I really want to know more. I really want to understand more than what I know today. And I think that is what really, really, really matters. Thank you so much, Star, for that. So there's a question already from Femi Bolabo. It says, what advice can you give to an undergraduate studying a science course, building a career in HR? Wow. Before you take this question, there was one question I don't want us to really leave that question before we go into this one. And still coming back to the effect of the pandemic on organization. The question now is, I won't do that on this show, but I can count 1, 2, or 3 organizations in Nigeria, even outside Nigeria. Sorry, my company actually did the same. And they had to really look at, now with the way things are going, where can we really save more money? And the first place is overhead. The first place is on people. And I was jokingly talking to someone and said, in the directors in your company, the expatriates, they still drive their SUVs, and their wives still drive the SUVs, and you still have 7 directors managing one single small business that you have there. And none of them is really being affected now, but it's the guys on the field, it's the guys on the shop floor, it's the guys in the factory. That's where we are looking at, why is this happening? Or let me put it that way, are there other alternatives? Sorry,
Yes,
I'm putting
there.
you on a very tight spot here.
Absolutely. No, you are. But this is also what I have witnessed, and I've been a part of such decisions over a couple of years. Let's face the fact. But the reality is this. This is what I'll say. There is a proverb in Yoruba. Amukun erewo okelenwo ewosale. I'll explain. You see a lame man carrying a load, and the load is not straight. And you're telling the lame guy, the crippled guy, that guy, your load is not straight. And the guy responds and says, why are you looking at the load? The leg itself is not straight. So look at the leg. If the leg isn't straight, there is no way my load will be straight. That's the reality. So if organizations don't get fundamentals right, they will always make the wrong decisions around people. So if we do a kind of job analysis fundamentally and job evaluation, right? And realize that I need 3 people to carry on this business. And we scientifically come to that conclusion, that I need 3 people to do this job. And if there are incremental responsibilities around that job, it doesn't necessarily mean there should be incremental headcount. It could mean that we need to increase people's responsibilities so that we can get them ready for the next level, rather than retaining them at their barest minimum. But because we are looking at additional 3-4 responsibilities, we go get somebody from outside. So individuals, therefore, might not be stretched. They might not be fully utilized on a day-to-day basis. But guess what? Because the business is good, the economic conditions are favorable, we are making budget and surpassing budget, nobody's going to look at that point. Nobody's going to look at headcount. Nobody's going to say we are over-bloated. We are only over-bloated when the times are not good.
That's true.
So when the times are not good, we go back to the fundamentals. And then we start saying, oh, okay, I can use 2 people to do that job. We could have used 2 people to do that job 3 years ago. But because we are making emotional decisions rather than business-based rational decisions, we pile overhead. Because we are building a kingdom and empires as HODs and managers and directors, where I needed 3 people, I have put in 6 people because it shows that I'm a big HOD or a big director. But because business is good, but because business is good, nobody's questioning that. But the time the business begins to suffer, that is when we now go back to the fundamentals.
So now, have we learned as leaders, as HR, as organization, have we learned?
I hope so. And I think so. Technology is now helping us a whole lot more in terms of the jobs that we need to do in organizations. We do not need to have people doing manual stuff. Therefore, because of the available technology or the leveraging opportunities of technology, we are doing a lot better now. But the point is, it will probably not change in so many businesses. When there is time to cut, the first place they always go is overhead. And can I shock you? We don't even, in some organizations, we don't even cut at the right point when we are cutting the overhead. We still cut the younger people. We still cut you know what I mean? So
I know. We still cut the low staff, or the low hand.
I'm telling you.
That's my concern. That's really my worry. And that's why I said I've really learned.
So I think we've learned. I think the pandemic will be, for a very long time, a reference point for so many things around businesses.
Now I'm scared.
It will be a reference point.
Yeah, so I'm a bit worried with what you've said now. What simply means that there will be a decline in employment rate going forward. So
there might be.
Yeah. So and I was talking to someone also, and he was saying, now it's not about unemployed graduates anymore. Now it has moved to the employable graduates. So there will be a clear distinctions now between the unemployed and the unemployables. So what advice do you have for graduates, undergraduates? I see a lot of them also on this on the show today. I really don't want to give people false hopes, because a lot of people are still going to graduate from those universities. Either that's why the long time strike or whatever the case may be, and they will go into that unemployment field or scopes or circle again. What should they do with the new normal? And that's the new normal we're talking about. And we really need people to really understand what we're talking about here. No business as usual anymore. Gone are those days right now when hardly do I even see companies going into management training schemes anymore. Hardly do I see them even hiring NYSCs, club members anymore. So what should these people do? What can we do? What are alternatives for them?
Okay, so I'll leave people with some hope, right, Tope?
Yeah.
And that's to say that when we are going to go into the fourth industrial revolution, humankind had the same concerns.
Okay.
The same concerns of the computer taking over jobs. A friend of mine came to see me at work sometime last week, a younger friend of mine, and processing the Canadian migration, and then went to get the police report. I said, I've never seen a police report before, just clearing the individual of crime and say another. Let me see. Guess what? It was typed out with a typewriter. How many of such can you still see in our world today?
No.
Not many. You see what I mean? So we had that concern as well when the computer was going to come, that people were going to lose their jobs and all that, but we were told that new jobs were going to be created.
Yeah.
People simply needed to move from old skills to new skills. We are now again at that threshold of history.
That's it.
We have come to the threshold of history where new jobs are falling away, new jobs will be created, and individuals therefore need to embrace new skills.
That's it.
And that is where I'm going to say this again. We've talked about value, we talk about action, we talk about getting ready. Do not bring your old self into a new normal.
Hey, say that again.
Do not bring your old self into a new normal. Your ability to fit into the new world is a direct consequence of your ability to reinvent yourself. You've got
Guys, I hope you're writing this down, huh?
You've got to reinvent yourself, and you've got to do it very, very quickly. Let me not kid you. I'm very active on social media, as you must know. And as I'm checking my as I'm checking my WhatsApp and responding, I'm thinking there's something I need to do on on Instagram. And then I'm quickly doing it. And then I'm thinking we are moving from one app to another. Multitasking. The world doesn't have that patience for anyone anymore to say, I will get that skill next month. I will get that skill. You've got to be proactively and deliberately be positioning yourself ahead of your time.
That is it.
So back to the undergraduates, proactively and deliberately. It's got to be intentional about it. Absolutely. Now to the undergraduates. Please, what they need to do, spend some time in the future.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is do not concentrate on today. The future is like a pregnant woman. If you come to me today and say, Yemi, please, I need money. I say to you, Tope, what happened? My wife suddenly had a baby yesterday. I'll be suddenly.
Suddenly.
A pregnant woman will give you at least 7 months notice. At least 7 months, right? That means it gives us an opportunity to prepare for the future. And that's what I mean by spending time in the future. You spend time in the future by preparing for it. Go and check what the future will require from you from a skills perspective and start getting yourself ready for it. Do not wait until you get into that future when you go out of school. when you go into NYC, before you start preparing. Tope, as an example, I wanted to do an MBA when I was in year 2 at IFE. I wanted to change to law. I couldn't change to law, but because I was spending time in the future, I knew that the next thing for me was an MBA. And life answers to our deliberate actions, deliberate thoughts, deliberate words. I found myself within the university environment doing NYSC. Was it going to be easy for me to do an MBA? Absolutely. I wanted to work with authority when I was in year 2 as well, right? But it didn't happen until 1999, from 1987 to 1999. But at least I was spending time in the future and getting ready for that opportunity. So guys, don't wait until 9 months day of delivery before you start saying, oh, what am I going to do? Another plan for your future. Spend time in it. The distractions of today are many. The distractions are many. That's the reality. And again, so many young people want to do what you and I are doing now, right? But you've got to go through a process. Have the future in mind, be vision focused, but do not forget the process. The process of learning, the process of taking deep roots. You've got to do it. You cannot circumvent that process. I am sorry. It's got to be done. You've got to take your roots and let them go deep so that when the storms and the opportunities and the challenges will come, you'll be able to stand. So spend time to know what the future will be asking from you from a skills perspective and start getting ready for those skills.
But I'm sorry, our youth of today are not ready for that. They want that get rich quick strategy. They want to become, I've hired someone that actually told me that, in the next 1 year, he wants to become the director. He wants, and they are not ready to go through that process. Well, you've just said it, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for this, and I hope that people are really jotting down things and notes, which will help them in future. I got information that people are already also asking questions on Facebook. So, Eman, please, if you got any question on Facebook, please just put it back here on the Zoom app for us to see. All right, thank you very much. Now we're gonna go more interactive now, and I already see questions popping in. So we're going to take the first one from Femi Jolayemi.
Okay.
What advice can you give to an undergraduate studying a science course but building a career in HR?
Okay, so keep the focus in mind, right, Femi? Yeah. But please, whatever life offers you, do it well. Do not say that until you start your HR, your career has not started. No, absolutely not. If you speak with a couple of people in HR today, myself inclusive, and Wale Adediran, the CIPM president, we will tell you that we didn't start our careers in HR. I was a salesman. I was selling computers on the street of Lagos. If I didn't make a career success out of sales, at least I got a wife out of it because I met my wife through that process. So whatever life offers you, when you are ready to start your career, please take it. Yeah. But be focused on where you are going. So I started from sales. I moved into marketing. The HR opportunity came up. I grabbed it with both hands, and that was it in 1999. Meanwhile, I left IFE in 1990. 9 years later, after a couple of years in NYC and doing MBA, and then I started HR 9 years after I left school. But today, absolutely no regret. And guess what? I don't have any certification in HR. I don't. Yeah, people do not believe that. I only joined CIPM in 2018, July. Wow. I joined as a full member. I do not have any other certification. It's about the deliberate and intentional things you want to do about your career. Knowledge for me was non-negotiable. Certification was not a priority. Knowledge was non-negotiable, and application of that knowledge in the day-to-day interactions and transactions at work became more paramount for me. So please, Femi, HR is your focus. Stay focused on it. Not a problem. You get out of school, you get out of NYC, you do not find an HR job. Do not say that you will not start your career until you find an HR job.
I keep telling people this joke. I said, I studied electrical engineering in school. I cannot fix a bulb. My wife fixed the bulbs in our home. I never worked as an engineer. I never did anything in electrical. Today I'm into supply chain. I found myself in it, and I made a good sense out of where I found myself. So it doesn't really matter what you studied. I'm not saying don't study. Of course, study and prepare yourself ahead. But
make the
what
best
you
out
need
of
to
your
do is
study
actually
as well. Make
absolutely,
the best out of your study, even now.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sure.
Oyelere Atoyibi says, this is my thought, and I stand to be corrected. Organizations cut costs by reducing headcount. Yeah, I think it is a lazy approach, okay? And refusing to face the real issue. Yeah, we talked about it just now.
We've talked about it. We agree
Yeah,
with you. No doubt about that.
we totally agree with you, Femi.
We don't go through the rigor of, you see, it's about garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah. And
The process of recruiting, the process of recruiting itself, how do we take that decision that I need 5 people or 6 people? If that process is flawed, the outcome ultimately will be flawed. That's
true. That's true. And Binkwe is also saying something very similar. Why the organization lay off low-income employees? Yes, we agree with you, Binkwe. The impact of the layoff doesn't seem to solve the real issue. Thanks so much, Binkwe. Guys, let's please bring your questions. Wow, Franklin has a lot of questions here. It says, considering the impact of COVID, where employees now work from home, what do you think employees should do to remain visible to business leaders? Before you take that, let me remind us again, we have about 89 people listening and watching right now on Zoom, apart from those on Facebook. Please, we still have about 30 minutes into this show. Make the questions short so that we can at least attend to every question today. So, Oga, that's the question from Frank.
Okay,
says, what do you think employees should do to remain visible to business leaders?
Visibility is not about me seeing you.
Okay.
That's not visibility. And I had this conversation being in HR, especially when you are not there doing performance appraisal, and we are talking about you, and they say that the individual is not visible. Visibility is primarily about the deliverables of your job. Let your job speak for you. Even when they don't see you and they see the report from you, let them ask who delivered that report. Do not define visibility as a physical presence kind of thing. It is not for you to pick up your boss's bag and go and do coffee or go. No. Visibility primarily is about the value you bring to your job. Your deliverables do not be found wanting. Then visibility, the next, you see, when you are at lower levels, if you draw the career triangle at the base, visibility is about what you deliver, your job. But as you begin to climb the career ladder, you're no longer working with only yourself, you're working with others.
Yeah.
How well are you achieving results working with other people? That is visibility. When you start leading people, visibility is how well are you achieving results through other people. So visibility, at some point, you're on your own, deliver the best, right? At some point, you're working with other people in the team, right? Make sure you deliver working with other people. That's visibility. What's your level of interaction? What's your emotional intelligence like? And then at the point when you become a team lead, a manager, a director, how well are you achieving results working through people? That's visibility. So at some point, you are leading yourself. At some point, you are leading others. And at some point, you are leading the organization. How well are you leading in those three phases? That is visibility for me.
Fantastic. And I think I was telling someone else, I said this period has exposed a lot of things. I said those that really love working in silos. Now you are no longer working in silos, you're working in the silos of silos when you're no longer anywhere. So I said to people, this is the period where you need to find a way of working with people the more. Because now there's no longer physical interactions. Everything has to do with what you're able to bring on the table. Then you need to make yourself very, very relevant. I was telling someone very, very quiet junior though, I said, if you keep sharing these daily reports and you do not get a feedback from your boss in 1 week, my friend, go back to that boss and ask questions. It's either that report doesn't make sense to him at all, or he's not even opening it. So if your boss did not give you a feedback, either positive or negative, in 1 week, guys, please go back to him and check. You might be shocked that your report is actually going into trash box or is going into spam. He's not looking at it. He's only focusing on those that matters to him, those that can help him deliver the organizational goal, those that can make him look good. I'm not asking you to bootlick. I'm not asking you for eye service. But if what you do today does not make your boss look good, you're wasting your time. And that is just the truth. So anything you do, you need to tie your organizational relevance into your boss's relevance and your corporate organizational relevance as well. If there's a missing link in all this, and what you're doing, which you see as work, does not lead to the companies achieving their overall objective, my friend, you're just there as a benchwarmer. And that's what we need to be intentional about in the year 2021. Check it. It goes beyond your objective. It goes beyond what you agree with. Come, if you're looking at what you agree with your boss at the beginning of the year, and you say that is only what you're going to stick to, 2020 must have taught you a big lesson, I tell you. And that is what we need to really change in this year that we're just into. Thank you so much, boss.
Can I wrap that up? Can I wrap that
Yes,
up? What you
do.
just
Yes,
said now
Yes.
in a phrase. Now, some people are used to doing things, and when they are required to do some other things, they say it's not in my JD.
It's not in it.
The point of visibility, the point of success or gradual success is the point where your discretionary effort kicks in almost on a permanent basis. By discretionary effort, I mean constantly doing things that is not in your JD.
Hey.
Do not tell your colleagues that it's not in my JD when they ask for help. Do not tell your boss, but that is not my job. It is Chinyere's job or Tope's job. No. Discretionary effort is the place where you realize that the interest of the organization is almost equal to your own interest, and you are willing to do a bit above more than what is required of you to sustain yourself within the scheme of things and to move the organization forward. Discretionary effort will push you to that point.
Spot on. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Sure. All right, we're going to go faster now.
There's a second part of that question, though. I think
beyond technical expertise and soft skills, what steps need to be taken to break into the C-suite?
Very quickly, you see, technical expertise is your IQ. The soft skills are your EQ. What you are missing is PQ, and that is political quotient.
Whoa.
And I am not saying that you should play politics. I am saying that you must be politically aware. There is a place in the organization where the confluence...
You're losing me, sir. You're even losing me myself. Can you say that again? Can you say that again? Because we treated office politics here about 2 weeks ago, and it was quite intense. This is just another level on top of that. Yeah.
It's always an interesting topic. So I'm saying that you can do your job very well. That is IQ.
Okay.
You can do it so well that you are the best at it. You have great technical competence. Yes, I am aware. Thank you. Right. So EQ is you can do your job working with other people. At that time, you are becoming a team lead, a manager, or head of department. But you are not doing your job alone. You require more than your IQ. It's not about intelligence quotient anymore. It's not about your technical ability to do that job. You must be able to understand how the emotional reactions of every single team member is harnessed on a daily basis to achieve objectives of the organization or your department. You must employ EQ on the go, right? But again, as you continue to move on and you want to lead the organization to break into the C-suite, then that is when you need political quotient. I lost my job because I was politically naive. I have lost my job twice. I mean, I've done 11 jobs, like I said. I've lost my job twice because of my political naivety and at C-suite sort of level. And I am saying it again, guys. I am not saying bootlick, play politics, carry madam's bag, wash Oga's car, be DJ at Oga's son's wedding. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just be politically aware. Understand where power play is and play to power, again, from a visibility perspective, which is first and foremost about your job. Wow. But make sure that your job is visible or the output is visible to those who matter in the organization. Don't be a sheep in the organization. Don't be a donkey. A sheep is just gentle, gentle, gentle. I'll do my job and go home. Don't be a donkey. I can do more. I have technical competence. Project management, I can do. BI, I can do. Bring it on another weekend. I'll do it. You're just being a donkey. You won't last too long. Don't be a fox. Don't be sly and slick and and be a perception manager in the workplace while neglecting the technical competency part of things. No, don't do that. But what I'm saying is, don't be a fox where you're just managing and massaging egos of powers that be. You know what? They'll see through all that. You will last longer than the sheep and the donkey, but you won't last for too long. Be an owl in the organization. Be an owl. The owl can see about 270 degrees to the right and to the left around that particular animal. You know why? Because it has 24 vertebrae in its neck. So what you need to do is be aware of your environment. Be organizationally aware. The MD might not be the most powerful person in an organization. I have seen that before.
Yeah.
The MD might not be. You'll be surprised that it's a lower level person who might be the most powerful person in an organization. Yeah. So
that's true.
That is the point where you're not just professional. I'm just doing my job. I don't want to. No. If you want to break into C-suite, you can't just be doing your job. You've got to be politically aware. Even the way you position things when you were at a younger level is going to be totally different from the way you position things. At a younger level, for instance, you can just go and submit a report or deliver a presentation. At C-suite level, or as you approach C-suite, you first will socialize your presentation before the day of the presentation. You will have run it by 2-3 powerful individuals who are going to be in the room. You will have sat down with them to go through your presentation before you go into the room. That is political awareness.
And when
you're not playing politics. You just want to get feedback from them before you make the presentation. That's it. Tope, are you there? Can you hear me? Looks like I've lost you a bit. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys hear me? You are muted. Tope, you are muted. Okay.
I don't know what happened. I think
you are muted. You are muted. Yes. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes. Better now. Yes.
I'm sorry. I think I lost connection at some point. I don't know.
Okay. Sure. So I think I'm not sure if you got me when I wrapped up. Did you get what I said?
No.
Okay. So what I said was your political awareness suggests that at times you might present something when you're at a lower level. It is time for you to make a presentation. Do it very well. Put in research, put in data. On the day of the presentation, go up there and deliver an excellent presentation. But if you want to break into the C-suite, or if you're at the C-suite level, you will run that same presentation by 2-3 people before the day of the presentation, so that you get their input, so that by the time you are going in there, you already have them backing you.
That's it.
Before you start presenting. That is political awareness rather than playing politics. Till today, I still do not know how to play politics. I don't have an idea, honestly, but at least my political awareness is a lot better than when I was younger or when I lost those 2 jobs. So PQ, add PQ to your IQ and to your EQ. You want me to repeat the animals? So the sheep, the donkey, the fox, and the owl.
And the owl. Yeah.
If I had the time, I would have plotted the graph of performance and potential around those 4 animals. So for the owl, where you want to be is you've got to have high performance and high potential. The sheep is low performance and low potential. It doesn't survive for too long in the animal kingdom. The donkey is high performance but low potential. The fox is low performance. Low performance. But high potential. But performance is key. People will realize that this guy is not performing, just managing everybody's perception. Yeah. So you need to be at the point where your performance is high, your potentials in the organization are high. However, circumstances also might require you to modify your behavior around those 4 animals from time to time. It takes wisdom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, I'll ask him to even stop on this. If you really want to learn more about this, you probably need to become part of the Yemi Faseun network. We're going to talk about that before the end of the show. Yes, we're not going to give everything for free. Of course not. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for that analogy. I think it really brings out the message And I know every one of us there, we're about 88 to 90 here. People are going in and out. Will not forget this. Thank you so much. We have about 15 minutes, but we'll rush through right now. Sonny Abdullah says, how many years is advisable for employees to put great contribution and impact on growth on an organization, maybe in an organization, when this organization is not well structured? No promotion, poor pay package, no POS, etc. So the question is, how long should you continue to work for an organization that really is not really, you're adding the values, but they're not adding values back onto you?
Okay, so there is no time to it. Somebody asked me, and I put it up on my WhatsApp status, when should I start adding value to my organization? And I said day 2. By day 2, you must start adding value to your organization.
They must already start saying why they hired you from
but you said something earlier on top, where you said that even if you are acquiring certifications and knowledge in the course of your business or in the course of your career, it is not because of the organization, it's because of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is because of yourself. So guys, please, if you are adding tremendous value to your organization and you're not being rewarded, please don't stop. I am begging you. Please don't stop. However, have an exit plan. Have an exit plan. Do not stop. Until the day you leave that organization, you owe the organization to give your best to it. And you owe yourself to get the best out of that organization. Continue to do that and maintain that balance. However, please have an exit plan. Yemi, when should I update my CV? I do mine day 2 once I join an organization. My CV is updated because anything can happen. And I'm not kidding. I'm actually not kidding. My CV is updated, right? So do not stop. Do not stop at all. I've done 6 years at the job, 6 years at the salary. I did 4.5 years at Standard Chartered. I did 3 years at Stanbic. I did 10 months at Vic Lawrence. I did 1 year at People Temp. I did another year at another organization. I did 3 years at Tequila. So you can see that it's all over the place. There is no particular time that I say, I must spend 2 years here or 3 years, even if it's 1 day. Once you are walking out, let them regret that they are losing you. And I'm in HR, I have seen individuals who resign and they say they want to give 30 days notice. The organization says, no, you can go, we'll pay you. You can go now. And I've seen individuals, and I've seen individuals who resign and the organization say, what can we do to make you stay? So it depends on you. Where do you want to be? Continue to add value until you leave. But please, if there is an imbalance or misalignment of expectations between you and the organization, have an exit plan. I'm not saying leave, but have an exit plan.
I keep telling people the right time to start but the right time to start determining what your next role will be is the day you pick another job. So absolutely. I keep telling people, I picked a new role in August last year. From that August and September, I'd already started thinking, what's my next role? I'd already start talking to the person I want to replace and say, hey, Oga, when are you going to leave? What's your own plan? And that is me for all the jobs I've done in different organizations I've worked. There has not been one that I was forced into, or HR decided we need to move into this. I determine where I want to move to. I decide what job I want to take. And that is what has really been helping me. And I keep telling people, from what you're doing right now, it could be an exit plan, it could be your growth plan, it could be your career plan. Write it down, planning, put it there, align with your boss. My boss is aware of my next role, which may be in the next 1 year, 2 years, I don't know when, but he's already aware. So when that opportunity comes, he already links it in his head that, yeah, Tope is ready for this role. And that is what his desires are. And then it makes your life so easy.
A lot easier.
Thank you very much, sir. I really want to be faster now.
Sorry, can I take Samuel quickly? Yes. Samuel is asking, how do I feel now that I am deficient in PQ? No, I am a lot better. I was saying that I was politically naive. But right now, my organizational awareness is top-notch. I might not play politics, but my PQ in terms of awareness of what's going on around me is a lot better.
Thank you, sir. Thanks so much for that. So Charles Asore says, is Nigeria economy ready for digitalization of jobs? Is there still job security for available jobs? What should be our worst fear with COVID-19 and the forex issues in Nigeria?
Don't go through the circles of concern, right? Guy, you are going through the circles of concern, right? What you should concentrate on is your own circle of influence. There are no jobs in Nigeria. Story. Even if you go to the US now, some people will tell you there are no jobs in the US. Reality.
That's true. There are no
That's
jobs.
the reality. So what should you do? Even if there are 10 jobs in your space, make sure that you are plug and play ready for one of those 10 jobs.
One of them.
We can continue the conversation about how ready the Nigerian market is, how digitally ready are we, and all that. You be digitally ready. And guess what? We have all become global citizens. I have friends who are living in this country and working with firms offshore, virtually, and they're getting paid in dollars. Why are you limiting your world view to Nigeria?
Introduce me to one of them.
But that's the reality.
Yeah.
Look for skills that will make you available in a digital world, not in a digital Nigeria. Digital world. With a click of the button right now on LinkedIn, you are available to about, I think, 700 million people.
Yeah.
700 million people can likely see you on LinkedIn. Immediately they look at your profile. Why are you limiting your worldview to Nigeria? Expand your horizon. You're a global citizen. Leave Nigeria out of your equation. Things won't change. What you can control, don't bother about what you can't control. What you can control, concentrate your efforts on that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Well, that's another story for another day, because there are some people even in this room today that still don't have a LinkedIn profile. Well, I think you need to start thinking right now. What exactly do you want to do with your life? Some people are so versatile on Facebook, on Instagram. They have several Instagram accounts. They follow as many people, but no one is following them. And they still don't have a LinkedIn account. I'm telling you, you're wasting your time. A lot of times you forget that what you're holding in your hands, that phone that you're holding, and all you can do on it is WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and you're not really developing and building what exactly you need to equip your life with the right resources, and also with the right to connect yourself with people with influence and people that can really affect your life. I'm sorry, you're really seriously wasting your time. I put it as a joke on my status. I said, if I do not respond to your Happy New Year chat, sorry, I'm so sorry. My Instagram, my Facebook, my WhatsApp status is 80% work and about me, rather than just jokes and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a different topic. Let's go back to what we're talking about. So Osage says the lockdown gave a taste of life after retirement. Considering the work from home, what advice would you give to employees beyond their current job?
Get ready for the next job. Get ready for the next job. We said at the beginning, there are some jobs that are in the market today, they won't be in the market tomorrow. In fact, people have said it over and over. In the future, there might not be no need for anybody in HR, or some parts of HR will not be needed. Payroll administration, it's going to become plug and play eventually. Absolutely. So what part of your job can be taken over by automation? Don't concentrate building skills in that particular area. What new skills are going to be required in your role to be relevant in a digitally ready world? Build your skills in such areas. You see, we're not going to tell you everything. You've got a lot to do yourself from a research perspective. Like Tope said, do Instagram, do Facebook, do Snapchat and all that, but also do what is relevant for your future.
Yeah.
Spend some time on it. We're not going to be here talking about everything, but the truth is, by 2015, they warned us, the World Economic Forum warned us about some jobs that will no longer be relevant today, and those prophecies have come true. Now, just last year, some other addition has been made to that. So we know the skills that are going to be on the decline and the skills that are going to be on the increase. Go do some level of research on that and get yourself digital ready for a new world.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, sir. All right. So
Chinedu is asking, I saw Chinedu asking me, how do you build a performance management system from scratch? This is not a performance management class.
No.
That's not. I mean, that's another 3-day a 3-day course, right?
Yeah, so if you want to
That's
learn
not
more about that, follow Yemi Fashion on Instagram, join the Yemi Fashion network. It's going to tell us a bit about that, and then we can bring you more information around that. All right. Promise says he has interest in HR. Can he combine it with engineering? What's your
By all
advice?
means, Wale Adediran is an engineer. Go speak with Wale Adediran. Find a way. If you chat him up on LinkedIn, yeah, Wale will respond to you. If he doesn't respond to you, promise come to me. I'll introduce you to Wale. Wale was an engineer before he became an HR person. We can share from his experience to help you. Promise.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much. A lot of people are saying thank you for sharing. Play to
Thank
power
you.
for visibility, perspective. Okay. Trying to go. Yeah, I see another question. Can you please repeat the animals again? No. All right. If you want to hear about the animals again, go to my YouTube page. You're going to see this masterclass session on YouTube. So go there. And then you have that again. I'm so sorry about that because of our time. So Yelere, don't worry, I'll explain it to you. All right. So how do we feel today being deficient? Okay, you've answered that.
I've answered that.
As an employee, how do you manage performance? Okay, we've talked about that. Thumbs up, sir. Don't limit your worldview to Nigeria, be globally minded.
Okay. So sorry, Tope. Like somebody I didn't know she was here. Lara Yeko is on this call.
Okay.
A colleague of mine in HR. She has a book called the HR Storybook, right? And I think Wale's story is in that book as well. I just got some sort of information from her. So
HR Storybook.
Yes, my HR Storybook
by
Lara
Yeko. We need to see
and it's not just Lara, it's also, it's not just Wale. We have a couple of so many senior people who have been featured in that book, and they share their story, how they transition to HR.
Fantastic. All right, that'll be something. Maybe we're gonna do a book review someday on MCTV. Let's see how it goes. Chinedu says, how do you build a PM system from scratch? No, we're not.
We've answered that.
I got my current job through LinkedIn. I got all my jobs through LinkedIn, by the way. That's fantastic. But while we're planning one's exit from an organization, what is your take for some of us that is planning to start up rather than career development? You mean start up your own business? I think this is what this person. Yeah. Okay, can you take that, sir?
Okay, so wait. This is probably the time for me. I've never been an entrepreneur, but I've got people in my network, and that's part of the essence of the YF network. If I just share now, it's a group of professionals, right, across different professions, not just HR. Across different professions as well as entrepreneurs. And the idea is to find people in that network who have gone ahead of us so that they can light candles on your path as you're coming behind them. I've never been an entrepreneur, and if you do not have to join the YF network. Let me just say that before you can get answers, you can find successful entrepreneurs around you and speak with them. Let them share experiences with you that will guide you. That's the reality. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. We always like to keep the time on MCTV, and this is the right time to say a very, very big thank you. It's been a fantastic day. I was keeping my eyes on the participant, and there was a time I saw 95 people in the class. That was very, very fantastic. So thank you so much for every one of you that have joined us today. Keep supporting MCTV. This is module 11. We're going to bring module 12 to you in another 2 weeks, and it's going to be another fantastic show again. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag now, but if you want to learn more, you want to know more about MCTV, please. We've shared all our social media handles. Tope Bandele on Instagram, Tope Bandele on Facebook, but more importantly, also be part of the MCTV network, which is the families and the kids. I'm very, very passionate about kids. I have 2 boys within the ages of 5 and 10, and I have another one of 2 years. So kids are my thing. So I do stuff for them every Sunday, and this is really growing so well, and I'm loving it. Yeah, that's the link again, the WhatsApp link, if you want to be part of the MCTV Learning Hub. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Yemi Fashion, I cannot thank you enough. I'm so grateful for having you on the show today. This really go in records. It's gonna go million thanks. A lot of people are just throwing it in. Million thanks to you, sir. God bless you real good. You did this for me pro bono, like your aburo. I'm sorry I've not been that close to you. It's just my own type. I just like staying in my shell sometimes. But now I think I'm gonna reach out to you the more. I see that I have a lot to learn from you also. I'm still learning. So thank you so much, guys. I say congratulations to every one of you that are on the show today. It's really a great pleasure having you. More importantly, please, guys, to join YFN, I'm gonna ask you to go on Yemi Fashion's Instagram handle. And I think that is Yemi Fashion directly, right? Yeah.
Yes, Yemi Fashion. Yeah.
So please go on Yemi Fashion and send him a DM. Is very versatile on social media. So send him a DM. He's gonna read your DM. Trust me. Then you can learn how to be part of YFN. It's a great opportunity. I'm also looking forward to be part of that network. Thank you so much, guys. It's 7:30 Nigerian time now. God bless you real good. I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
COVID-19 is still out there. Please and please, I beg you in the name of God, don't get carried away. Don't get carried away. Use your nose mask everywhere you're going. Protect yourself and protect others as well. And then we can pray that God continue to protect each and every one of us. Thank you so much, sir. I'm really, really honored. My regards to Madame, my regards to the family. I miss you so much. I miss every one of them. Thank you so much.
We miss you too. We miss church.
and I hope that one day when I come around again, I will definitely visit you and we can
by all means.
Again.
By all means.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so this is MCTB t-shirt. It's still going out for free to people. You know how to get it.
Please send my own. Send my own.
Yours is. Don't worry. You're gonna get yours by next week. Trust me. You're gonna get yours by next week. So for the rest of you, if you want this t-shirt, just follow at Tope Bandele on Instagram, and then it could come across to you. We did. There's a competition that will close 8 o'clock today for our kids. It's a creative writing competition, and there's a 50,000 naira to be won. If you have a child between the ages of 5 to 10, all you have to do is pick our past 10 models, model 1 to 10, and your child should just form a story with it. All right? Form a story with it. The story that has the highest number of likes on our social media handles will win 50,000 naira 8 o'clock tonight. All right? So it's still on. Don't miss that opportunity, guys. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to you once again. And I'm really glad having you on board. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of the week, the rest of the month, the rest of the year. Okay, sir. I'll call you after the show. Thank you so much.
All right, then. God bless.
Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye.
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 Slam dunk, are you ready to